PCMlogger is the free data logging to go with the free LS tuning that you get with LS Droid, PCM Hammer, or Universal Patcher. I've used it with my OBD link, but it works a little better with the OBDX Pro VX. It's a lot faster. Data logging is great for tuning, it's great for troubleshooting, and you can also do stuff like put gauge overlays on your videos with Race Render. So this video will show you how to download and configure, and then how to connect and use PCMlogger. I had been using Tuner Pro, and I had an ADX all set up for that worked. However, it doesn't work anymore. I don't know if it's a Windows update or what the hell killed it, but everybody that I've sent it to and stuff, none of them work now anymore. There are tons of parameters already set up, and you just choose them. You check mark the ones that you want, and it's also customizable. So there's an XML document where you can change things around. I always change temperature units from Celsius to Fahrenheit, but I also had to make some math changes to the wideband setup. I'm logging my wideband through the EGR channel, and the EGR wideband was already set up, but it had math for a different brand wideband. So I had to change the math to work with my AEM, but it's all customizable if you need to. There's a target AFR that's in there, so you know what your computer is shooting for, and then you log that against your actual wideband air-fuel ratio. You can see what your error correction is and how to make it work. You could also do tuning through your long-term and short-term fuel trims if you don't have a wideband in it. So plenty of ways to get everything dialed in. My OBD link that I had was very reliable connecting with it, but the Bluetooth data was pretty slow. I was getting like 2 or 3 samples per second, and at wide open throttle, it would even drop out completely, which I'm guessing was probably EMI or something like that. Not very helpful for performance wide open throttle tuning. The OBDX is connected via USB, so it's a lot faster that way, and there's no issues with EMI. I was getting like 2 to 3 samples per second with the OBD link, and I'm getting a constant 10 frames per second, even under wide open throttle, which is perfect. It was pretty sketchy trying to get it to connect reliably until I figured out the sequence. Every time you need to start data logging, what you have to do is make sure the car is running first. Then you plug in your OBD to the OBD port. Then you plug in your USB to the USB port. Then you open up your software, and then you'll be good to go. When you stop logging and you have to connect again, you have to unplug everything and start over and plug in your OBD, plug in your USB, then open up your program, and it should work. It has never failed me when I've followed that specific sequence. All right, so to download PCMlogger, you got to find PCM Hammer, which you can just go to PCMhammer.org. I'll put a link in the description, and that will bring you right to this GitHub page right here. And if you go to releases, right down here, you have a zip that has everything in it. So when you download this file here, you will end up, let's see, I already have it open. So here is the zip that I've already unzipped. And then PCMlogger is right here. I put a link to PCMlogger right on my taskbar, so it's easy to get to when I need to data log. And in the parameters file, which is right here that I modified today because I was playing with the wideband, this has all of the different parameters that you can log, and these all match up. So like this ID is 04, and if you go to just your standard OBD2 PIDs, see I was looking at 15 here. And when we go to 15, this is the wideband stuff I was messing with, and all this math is figured out by the standard OBD2 protocol. So if you're familiar with any of this kind of stuff, it's pretty simple to set up. And if you're not familiar with it, there's stuff online that'll show you how. But you can see all of these match up. So 11 is throttle position right here. But what I'll do now is take you to my blazer. It's wintertime, so the bread is put up. But I'll take you in my blazer and show you how this stuff all starts logging. Okay, we'll fire up the old winter blazer. So, now that we are running, I can plug in my OBD2. Okay. Now I got the lights on with the OBD2. Now, I can plug in the USB. Now that the USB is on, I'm going to click PCM Logger. And here we go. We have OBDX Pro. 9405 is the operating system of this blazer. And you can see I got a bunch of parameters going here. The wideband isn't showing up because I don't have a wideband on this, but I can go through all this other stuff. You can see my query time here is around 100 milliseconds. And what I will do, hit record, then I'm recording here. And then when I stop my data log, it goes to documents. This says Beretta because that's the last thing I was logging. So this comes with this little log viewer. It gives you a CSV so you can open it in Excel or any of the freeware stuff. You can also bring it into like Megalog Viewer HD. And this is the entire log right here. It doesn't have any fancy graphs or anything unless you bring that CSV into like Megalog Viewer, which is something else I can show you later. But it's super helpful to have the information when you need it. And a lot of times if you're looking at a couple different things, you can get a pretty good idea just by looking at the numbers themselves in the list without having to log it or without having to put it in a graph. Okay, and I just shut it off. And I will show you here, it's probably going to fail. Yeah, see, select another device, it says. Whereas if I just unplugged everything and restarted, it would all set up and be perfect. And when you do your initial setup, you have to set it up for the device that you're running here. This is the OBDX, and it's the serial port. I had my OBD link set up on one of these comms, I don't remember which one. And then you would set it up for OBD link or whatever you've got. The OBDX is definitely the way to go. If any of you guys have a question on this stuff, drop me a comment. I'll do my best to help you out.